the text that we will be covering in the morning is Manisha Panchakam. Manisha Panchakam is a Prakarana Grantha authored by Bhagavan Sri Adi Sankaracharya. So what do we mean by Prakarana Grantha? When any science is to be unfolded, in the Indian tradition, there are different kinds of texts, treatises, scriptures that are written. The main text that elaborates upon all the topics of that subject, of that science, is called as Shastra Grantha. The main text, which covers all the points, all the topics, is called as Shastra Grantha. So, if anything in Indian tradition has to be established as a Shastra, as a science, then it must have Shastra Grantha. There can be one or more Shastra Granthas also, which is also fine. Then, there are Bhashya Granthas, commentaries on these Shastra Granthas. There are many other kinds of texts also, Tika Granthas, Tippani Granthas, Vartikas. They are all kinds of notes or theses on that commentary of the Shastra Grantha. There are different kinds of texts. So when we come to Vedanta, yesterday we were seeing that Vedanta is the topical culmination of Vedas. And we saw that it is also a darshana, it is also a school of philosophy. So when it is a darshana, it becomes Shastra, darshana Shastra. Which means that there has to be a Shastra Grantha for Vedanta. There has to be, not has to be, there will be some Bhashya Granthas, Tika, Tippani Granthas, Vartikas, etc. also will be there. Right? So what is the Shastra Grantha of Vedanta? We say the main Shastra Grantha is the Upanishads. Because that is the Vedanta. Correct? And then Bhagavad Gita and Brahma Sutra. These three texts together, they are called as Shastra Granthas of Vedanta. Otherwise, also known as Prasthana Traya. Prasthana Traya. Prasthana means to go somewhere. So if you want to go somewhere in Vedanta, the three texts that we must study are the Upanishads, Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Brahma Sutra. Now on these texts there are commentaries. We have Bhagavan Sri Adi Sankaracharya himself, whom we also call as Bhashyakara. Why do we call him Bhashyakara? Because he created Bhashya, commentary. So he wrote commentaries on the 10 major Upanishads, on Srimad Bhagavad Gita, on Brahma Sutra. And then all the other Acharyas of Vedanta, who within Vedanta wanted to explain a different point, sub-darshana, sub-branch, sub-school of philosophy, they also wrote commentaries on these texts. To give you an example, we say within Vedanta also the philosophy that we follow is Advaita Vedanta philosophy. Correct? Advaita Vedanta philosophy. There are other darshanas also, Dvaita Vedanta is there, Vishishta Advaita Vedanta is there, Dvaita Advaita Vedanta is there, Bheda Advaita, Purna Advaita. There are so many types of sub-philosophies within Vedanta. And the acharyas of these sub-philosophies also, to explain their philosophy, have to write commentary on all these main texts called as Shastra Grantha. So we have Ramanujacharya writing the commentary to establish Vishishtadvaita philosophy. A.M. Madhvacharya writing the commentaries again on Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita and Brahma Sutra to establish Advaita Vedanta philosophy. Right? Now what happens? Sometimes for a layman, it is not possible to directly enter into Shastra Grantha and understand. Though there are commentaries to assist, to help, but sometimes even with commentaries it becomes difficult to understand the concepts directly of the Shastra Grantha. So this great, passionate Acharya, compassionate Acharya, wrote Prakarana Granthas. Both has to be there, passion and compassion. Passion to get this knowledge through to every single person. And compassion because he is not remaining there but he is allowing everybody to come in the fold of Vedanta. So Bhagavan Sri Adi Sankaracharya ji authored, composed what is called as Prakarana Grantha. Prakarana, the word itself means topic, chapter. In our school books also, Prakarana used to be there. So Prakarana means topic. So what does this Prakarana Grantha do? This Prakarana Grantha explains one or a few topics of Shastra Grantha in a very, very preliminary way. So that after studying Prakarana Granthas, we will be ready to enter into Shastra Grantha. So Prakarana, topic. So Prakarana Grantha, topical text, or sometimes also called as preliminary text. Understanding? You see, this is there in every science. Suppose you say I am studying physics. Doesn't mean on day one of the study of physics you will take Einstein's theory of relativity to study. Right? That is the crux of physics, but you can't directly understand what he is talking about. So what? So anybody who teaches that science has put a road map for you. You start with basic physics. Then go to the Newtonian physics, understand the Newton's law. No, but Newton's laws are not applicable to everything. Einstein's theory covers everything, correct. But to understand Einstein's theory, first you must understand Newton. Step by step they take us. Now, even before all these Newtonian theories, say, or any other thing, first there has to be basic text which will tell me what the words mean in that science. Same example of physics we are taking. See, work. I always give this example. Work. Now, work, when you hear the word work, we know the meaning of work. I finished my work. There's a lot of work to do. You are not doing any work. So the term is known to us. The word and its meaning is known to us. But in the context of physics, that same term has a very different meaning. Isn't it? Work in physics is what? Force into displacement. W is equal to F into D. Now you imagine somebody who has not come across physics at all. Suddenly sits in the class and the class is talking about W is equal to F into D. You don't know what is W. You don't know what is F. You don't know what is D. Now even when you come to know, okay, W is work. You say, what is this? So there has to be a basic text, preliminary text, which will explain the terms, definitions, concepts, so that when I actually enter into the main text, it will make sense for me. That is the reason why Prakarana Granthas are given by Shankaracharya. Okay. If we see the history. Before Shankaracharya ji, we don't find many Prakarana Granthas written. It is out of his compassion that the whole concept has started, that we must write a few texts which will prepare people for studying the actual science. And it is believed that Shankaracharya ji has written more than 30 Prakarana Granthas. Some Prakarana Granthas are very small and cover one specific topic or are given for one specific purpose. Whereas some Prakarana Granthas are lengthy and they probably cover all the topics of Shastra. But there is a difference between Prakarana Grantha and Shastra Grantha. Shastra Grantha also cover all the topics. Prakarana Grantha also may cover all the topics. But in Prakarana Grantha, the topics will be covered in preliminary way. Still the definitions will be there. Still the explanation will be there for any person. Right? So we have short Prakarana Granthas like Sadhana Panchakam, Manisha Panchakam that we will be studying, Nirvana Shatkam, Tattva Bodha, Atma Bodha, Vajagovindam. These are short texts. All of them have single purpose in mind. Example, Sadhana Panchakam gives the entire spiritual journey of a seeker in the form of steps. 40 steps are given in 5 verses. 40 steps are given. Vedo nityamadiyatam, tadutam karmasvanushriyatam, eneshasya vidiyatam, apachiti, kamemati tejjatam. Starting from there up to Brahma or Brahmatmanasya. So, where you should start? What is the next step? 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 Where you should finish. That's the single purpose of the text. You take Tattva Bodha, it is a book of definitions. No spiritual journey, path, etc. is not given. All the definitions are given that you will require. What do you mean by Atma? What is Brahma? What is Maya? You use the terms Sthula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, gross body, subtle body, causal body, Jagrada Avastha, waking state, Swapna Avastha, dream state, Sushupti Avastha, deep sleep state. All the terms that we will be using in Vedanta are defined there. Atma Bodha, next text that we study is for conceptual clarity. Concepts are clarified. Terms are clear. Now concepts, get them clear. Without self-knowledge, liberation is not possible. What is the concept of Adhyasa? What is the concept of Tadatmya? All the concepts are taken and clarified. So we see that each text, Prakarana Grantha, is written for a purpose. This is the purpose, and therefore according to the purpose, the length of the text is decided. We have some other texts like Viveka Chudamani, Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Sara Sangraha, which are 500 verses, 1000 verses, which cover all the topics. But still there will be a kind of basic. We will define some things, explain, elaborate, give more examples. All that may not happen in Shastra Grantha. That is not the purpose of Shastra Grantha. Purpose of Shastra Grantha is to give the final knowledge, final teaching. Right? So, Shastra Grantha, Prakarana Grantha. Now, the Prakarana Grantha that we are going to study is Manisha Panchakam. Panchakam means a set of 5 verses. Panchakam. Shatkam, set of 6 verses. Ashtakam, set of 8 verses. Very good. You will read the title only, you know there are only 5 verses that we have to study. Why unnecessarily, put us in difficulty. Only 5 verses. 5 verses on what? Manisha. Manisha. Beautiful name which can be given. But what does it mean, Manisha? Now again this word Manisha, we have heard. In Hindi, etc., in everyday language also, not we, not people who come from Mumbai, we don't use that kind of Hindi. But where Hindi is actually spoken as the first language, this word Manisha is well known. Mari Manisha kya? Ichha kya? Kya bolna kya chahte? What are you intending to say? What is your desire? What is your intention? Sometimes the word Manisha is also used in terms of your intelligence. So in Sanskrit, there is something called as Amarakosha. You know Amarakosha? Dictionary. But dictionary in Sanskrit is in such a way that all synonyms are given in verse form. The entire Amarakosha is in verse form. Very easy to remember, memorize, etc. So in Amarakosha, the line that explains what this Manisha is and what are all the other words are Buddhir Manisha Dishana Dhis Pradnya Shemushi Matihi. Buddhihi Manisha Dishana Dhihi Pradnya Shemushi Matihi Prekshopalabdhis Chit Sambit Pratipad Nyapti Chetanaha. These are all the synonyms of Manisha. Now you see, the moment we hear synonyms, more clarity will come on that. Buddhi word means intelligence. Manisha, Dishana, all mean Buddhi. Dhihi, Pradnya, Shemushi, Matihi, all of them mean Manisha. Manisha means intelligence, understanding. All these are thinking. Right? But we are studying Vedanta. So there has to be what we call as the meaning. Of course, meaning of the word which will be there. But according to that science, what exactly is the meaning of that word? Just now we were seeing the example of work. Work in common parlance is used in one particular way. But when it comes to physics, there is a particular meaning. What is the particular meaning of word Manisha? Especially when it comes in Vedanta Shastra, it means conviction. Conviction. Final, what we say, stand. What is my final stand on a particular thing? Manasaha Isha. That which governs the mind. And that is the conviction. See, each one of us, we behave in a particular way. Our mind works in a particular way because our conviction is of that kind. What is our conviction? According to that we will work. So this Manisha word here in this context and in the entire text it will be coming almost in every verse. There it means conviction. So 5 verses or a set of 5 verses of conviction. What is my stand? This is my conviction. These are the 5 verses which are given by Bhagavan Sri Adi Sankaracharya. Now what is the purpose of this text? We saw that each Prakarana Grantha has to have a clear purpose. Sadhana Panchakam gives the spiritual life. Tattva Bodha gives definitions. Atma Bodha gives concept clarity. What Manisha Panchakam does? Manisha Panchakam explains the Mahavakyas that appear in the Upanishads, that is in the Vedas. Now again the word Mahavakya, we all have heard. The word also means Mahavakya, great statement, not big statement. Statements are very small in length, but they are very deep, very meaningful. Basically Mahavakya, see, I am not going to elaborate more on Mahavakyas because each verse we will be seeing one Mahavakya. That time we will see. But Mahavakya basically, Gurudev used to call very beautifully, Swami Chinmayanand used to call identity revealing statement. The statement that reveals, that shows to us oneness between the individual and total is called as a Mahavakya. The statement that reveals oneness between the individual and total, that is called as Mahavakya. And we have 4 main Mahavakyas from the 4 Vedas. Rig-Veda, Yajur-Veda, Samaveda, Atharva-Veda. There are many Mahavakyas, okay? In each Upanishad there will be a Mahavakya, there will be more Mahavakyas also in the same Upanishad. But these 4 are considered to be main Mahavakyas. And those 4 Mahavakyas are, number 1 from Rig-Veda, Aitareya Upanishad. Aitareya Upanishad is the place, Upanishad where, in Rig-Veda where the Mahavakya appears. And the Mahavakya is Prajnanam Brahma. Prajnanam Brahma. Consciousness is Brahman. Now, what is the meaning of that? We will be seeing, don't worry. Okay. So, first Mahavakya from Rig-Veda, Aitareya Upanishad is Prajnanam Brahma. Second Mahavakya from Yajur-Veda, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad is Aham Brahmasmi. Aham Brahma Asmi. Aham Brahmasmi. I am Brahman. I am Brahman. Third Mahavakya from Samaveda, third Veda, which comes in the Chandogya Upanishad. Chandogya Upanishad is Tattvamasi. Tattvamasi. Tat Tvam Asi. You are that. Tat, that. Tvam. You. Asi are. You are that. Tattvamasi. And then last Veda is Atharva Veda. And from Mandukya Upanishad, the Mahavakya is Ayam Atma Brahma. Ayam Atma Brahma. This self is Brahman. Okay. So we have these 4 Mahavakyas appearing in the 4 Upanishads of the 4 Vedas, separate Vedas. Now Shankaracharya explains these 4 Mahavakyas in the first 4 verses of this text. So first verse is going to explain first Mahavakya. Second verse is going to explain second Mahavakya. Oh, but Vedji, what do you mean explain the Mahavakya? All 4 Mahavakyas mean the same. They cannot mean different. No? Identity revealing things. There is identity. How can identity be different? So same identity is revealed, but it is revealed through a different aspect. The way of explaining, the way of telling my experience may be different. So that way the 4 Mahavakyas differ. In the meaning there is no difference. All 4 mean the same, but the way they are presented, that is different. And according to that, Shankaracharya has written these first 4 verses to comment upon 4 Mahavakyas. And the last verse, 5 verses are there. First 4 verses are explaining 4 Mahavakyas. The last verse explains about a person who has realized this oneness explained by the 4 Mahavakyas. That is how he concludes the text. So we saw that Manisha Panchakam is the Prakarana Grantha. We understood what is the Prakarana Grantha. We understood what is Manisha Panchakam, set of 5 verses on conviction. And then we also understood what is the purpose of Manisha Panchakam, how does this thing flow. Now the plot. the story of this Manisha Panchakam. Early morning, he took bath in Gangaji and he was walking towards the Vishwanatha temple, the temple of Lord Shiva, which is little away from the ghat, not far away, just walking distance. Now the corridor etc. is created so that Manisha Panchakam will not happen. Long corridor is there. But in the olden days of Kashi, not very old, even 5-6 years back you would have gone, Kashi is known for its narrow streets, lanes, gullies we say, no? And very, very small gullies are there. And suddenly you go from there and suddenly the temple appears. That's how everything in Kashi is. There is a reason for that. I'm tempted to tell you. See, actually, that whole thing was made because invasion happened many times. Mughal invasion happened. And what they used to do is they used to come and destroy the temples. So what these people did, can't imagine what kind of sacrifice these people had in them. That around the temple they had their own houses in so close proximity that a person who comes from the main street doesn't even know where is the temple. And in each house there was a temple. They have got some 11 lakh Shivalingas when they were going through all the houses. And outside it will look like a house. Only when you open, they will understand that it is a temple. Why? So that when invaders came, they saw that, oh, these are all houses. They returned. That's why these small gullies, etc. were there. That's not the topic. Topic is what? After taking bath in the morning with his students, Shankaracharya was walking through these small lanes, going towards the temple, Vishwanath Mandir. And when he was walking, already the lanes are very narrow. On that, there was one person who was cleaning and absolutely dirty, as though he has not taken bath for months. He was walking with his 4 dogs on the same street. Now, suddenly when you are all fresh, suddenly you are going, and then as a reaction, Bhagavan Shankaracharya said, hey, go away. Fine. But when he said go away, something interesting happened. What happened? The person suddenly replied, oh, you look to be sannyasi in orange clothes going. Supposed to be of great knowledge. You are in Kashi, you are in the hub of Indian spiritual knowledge. And you are telling me to go away? Please answer my question. What should go away from what? Let us read the verse. So this is preamble. This is the pre-plot to Manisha Panchakam. 5 verses will begin afterwards. That is when the author will tell his conviction. Okay? This is creating the plot for it. So let us read. Annamayad annamayam athava chaitanyameva chaitanya vijavara duri kartum vanchasi kim bruhi gaccha gaccheti अन्नमयाद अन्नमयम् अथवा चैतन्यमेव चैतन्यात् विजवर दूरीकर्तुं वाञ्छसि किं ब्रूहि गच्छ गच्छेति। हे द्विजवर, O the best among Brahmanas, Duri kartum vanchasi, you are trying to make something away from something. Duri kartum vanchasi ichchasi. You are desiring to do that. You are telling me to go away, move away, no? Please tell me, annamayam duri kartum vanchasi? Athava chaitanyameva chaitanya duri kartum vanchasi. Are you trying to tell me that my body, which is made up of food, which is made up of the 5 elements, exactly like your body, which is made up of the same food, same 5 elements, do you want my body to move away from your body? Why? Because that doesn't make sense. Both bodies are made up of same 5 elements. What is the point of one body becoming going away from the other body? Or are you telling me that the Chaitanya consciousness should move away from consciousness? Because that is also not possible, because there is only one consciousness. So what should move away from what? Please explain me that. Once you explain me, I will move. Imbruhi gaccha gacche. What are you talking about? Go away, go away. Please tell me first, what should go away from what? Okay? Now you see, suddenly the scene is different. Why? Because the common simple conversation has been just raised to the philosophical conversation. You understand? Yesterday somebody was explaining, this body is called so and so. Now, if you are going to go to that level, then all other people also have to talk on that level then. Isn't it? When we are talking in common parlance, we talk in a particular way. Then suddenly when this conversation takes a turn, Shankaracharya also said that, okay, fine. Now let me also tell my conviction about it. Now, basically what is this saying? See, to understand the context, to understand the entire plot, we are talking about probably 8th century, 7th century common era, and at that time this discrimination on caste was very, very prevalent. Naturally, the best culture, when it goes through time, all these kind of things have to come up. So you see, so what was happening at that time? So probably the Brahmanas, etc. were supposed to be considered to be the topmost category of humans. Okay. And Kshatriya, Vaishya, and then Shudras are considered to be the lowest category. And this particular person who was standing in the way of Shankaracharya is called as Chandala. Chandala is the worst kind of Shudra. Actually the worst kind of human being. Why? Because this Chandala, they don't have feelings. So in Kashi, etc., the Chandalas, they are very much respected because they are the ones who burn the bodies. And Kashi, you must have seen, no? There are all ghats are there. Why? Because in our scriptures we say that if you die in Kashi, you will attain Swarga. So many people to die, they go to Kashi. Naturally. So then this burning, etc., the people who carry out, these are these Chandalas. And obviously according to their profession, they have to be stone-hearted. You imagine one day we hear news of somebody's death or we go to Smashan, one day our entire day goes in, depression, and suddenly we start thinking about life. What is this? Is it going to end like this, etc. One day, because you imagine the 24 hours they are there only. And you see how many times they must have cremated or burnt the bodies of people that they know. So these people are considered to be very stone-hearted, very tough kind of people, and they don't have any feeling. It is said that they are the people who will eat dogs. Shwapachaha. See, dog is considered to be the most loyal animal for human beings, isn't it? Loyal friend, we say also. And people, maximum pets are dogs, isn't it? We take care of it, they are so nice. They always help us and they go all around us, wagging their tail, etc. We love. They will take care of these dogs and then finally they will cut and eat. So lowest kind of people, whereas Brahmanas are supposed to be who they will not even kill a mosquito unless it is absolutely necessary. Life depends on it, somebody's, not their own, somebody's life depends on it, then they might. So you see the difference clearly exists. Now whether differentiated or not, that's a different question. But the difference exists. And forget about this difference also. A simple difference exists that Shankaracharya had taken bath in Gangaji, fresh, going towards the temple, and suddenly a dirty fellow comes, you will automatically say, go away, go away. As a reaction, something which was said, the person asked, Chandala asked, who should go away from who? Now I have heard many people saying so many things about this, that Shankaracharya ji was a discriminator, he was very much rigid in his caste structure, etc. Nothing like that ever happened. He was not like that. You see his text, you know he is not like that. This text itself will clarify that he is not like that. He says also later, Chandala usko sato dvijostu guruhu. He is my guru. Whether it is a Chandala or whether it is a Brahmana, it doesn't matter. He is my guru. One who has this knowledge is my guru. So it's not that he was like this. Now, around this story, now there are so many stories which are created. Okay. Some people, as Gauriji was also mentioning, that they say that this story didn't happen actually of Shankaracharya. Somebody else got confused and said something, and then Shankaracharya taught him. Some say this Chandala was nobody other than Lord Shiva himself, which is an accepted story. And he came there just to see. Shankaracharya is his own incarnation, isn't it? He wanted to test, are you okay? All okay? He wanted to test, what is your problem? Let him come and test. So Shiva came to test Shankaracharya. Shankaram Shankaracharya. So he himself came to test, and Shankaracharya stood first in the test. That's what happens, that's what we see. Some say like that also. Some say it is just this Leela of Lord Shiva. There is no question whether Shankaracharya knows these things or not. One thing which we have to understand is, when we talk in a worldly parlance, we can't always talk philosophically right. Because if we have to be philosophically right, we can't talk. Even the Mahavakyas are false statements from the ultimate philosophical point of view. Why? Because you are trying to show oneness. To show oneness, there should exist two things. Then only oneness you can show. There are no two things. There is only one thing. That one thing is not even called as Atman or Brahman, because no word can describe it. You can't use a verb, because verb is for a particular tense, particular mood. So nothing can be said. If I have to be philosophically right, I can't open my mouth. So obviously every single thing that we are going to speak is philosophically not perfect. Not talking about the highest philosophy, but we can say something to explain that philosophy. And at other times, for transaction, anyways language is for transaction purpose. So when Shankaracharya says, you should not say, oh, that means Shankaracharya was not philosophically realized person. How did he get confused? He did not get confused. It was just that the conversation was taken to a different level. Now to end this entire thing, Guruji, Swami Tejamanand gives a beautiful story. He says, you know what happened? In the heaven, there was an Advaita Vedanta conference, which was organized by all the Devatas and all these different scholars. And they wanted different articles to be published for their journal. So they were searching who are the best philosophers and thinkers, and they wanted to get articles from them. Now, knowing that Shankaracharya is so busy, short life of 32 years, in that he has to write commentaries also and write Prakarana Granthas also, hundreds of Shastras also, go around also, establish mathas also. He's very busy. You can't say that, Shankaracharya write an article. So what they did was, they sent this person as Chandala there, who said something, and immediately Shankaracharya replied. He took notes and published it as an article. That is what happened. Whatever you may want to believe. Point is what? Suddenly, the entire conversation was taken to a philosophical height. And immediately Shankaracharya said that, okay, you are going to talk like that, I will also reply like that. Now, before Shankaracharya gives his conviction, this Chandala was nobody other than Lord Shiva himself. He explains his point further. What is the point that he had said? That you are telling me, go away, go away. So please explain what should go away from what. Should the body go away from body? Doesn't make sense because both bodies are made up of same material. Should the Chaitanya go away from Chaitanya? That is also not possible because there is only one Chaitanya, which cannot go away from other Chaitanya. That's not possible. Now he explains that point further, and this verse, we can take this one verse for next 6 days also. That kind of gravity this verse has got. The entire Vedanta is summarized. Let us not forget who is talking. Lord Shiva, okay? Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam. The whole knowledge starts from Sadashiva only, from that Lord Shiva Dakshinamurti only. Right? So he now gives that exact point. What is Vedanta? Let us read. Kim Gangambuni Bimbitem Baramanau Chandala Vati Payaha Pure Chantaramasti Kanchana Ghati Mritkum Bhayorvambare Pratyak Vastuni Nistaranga Sahaja Anandava Bodham Budhau Viproyam Shwapachoyamityapi Mahan Oyam Vidheda Brahmaha. Beautiful meter, long meter is there. Now I will chant the entire line, repeat that. Kim Gangambuni Bimbitem Baramano Chandala Vati Payaha Pure Chantaramasti Kanchana Ghati Mritkum Bhayorvambare. Pratyak Vastuni Nistaranga Sahajanandava Bodham Budhau Viproyam Shwapachoyamityapi Mahan Poyam Vibheda Brahmaha. Together. Kim Gangambuni Bimbitem Baramanau Chandala Vati Payaha Pure Chantaramasti Kanchana Ghati Mritkum Bhayorvambare Pratyak Vastuni Nistaranga Sahajanandava Bodham Budhau Viproyam Shwapachoyamityapi Maha Oyam Vidheda Brahmaha. Kim. Now he is explaining it through two examples. Kim Ganga Ambuni. Let us see the word meanings first. Ganga, Ganga. Ambuni, Ambu means water. Ambuni, in the water. In the water of Ganga, Bimbite Ambara Manau. Bimbite, that which is reflected. Bimba means reflection. That which is reflected. What is reflected? Ambara Manau. The jewel of the sky. Ambara means sky. Mani means jewel. The jewel of the sky. Who is the jewel of the sky? The sun. So Ambara Mani is sun. Bimbite Ambara Manu. In the reflected sun, where it is reflected? Ganga Ambuni. In the waters of Gangaji, or Chandalavati Payaf Pure, or in the Pura, in the area where the Chandalas are staying, what we generally call a slum. In that slum, there is a Vati Payah, there is a side drainage, which also has water, where also sun gets reflected. Kim Antaramasti. You see here, Kim Ganga Muri Bimbite Ambaramano Chandalavati Payaf Purecha Antaramasti. Is there a difference? Is there a difference in the reflected sun that is reflected in the waters of Ganga, supposed to be the most pious and most auspicious waters? You take bath in Gangaji, all your papas are cleansed. Or the same sun getting reflected in the ditch of a slum. Is there a difference in that sun? Is there even a difference in the reflected sun? The difference exists only in the quality of water. The sun is not different. And even if you say the difference is in quality of water, please understand both are water. What is the difference? Okay, something is mixed with some dirt, something is not mixed with some dirt, but both are basically water. So both are water, which is same. The reflected sun, the sun is same, the reflection also is same only. According to physics, when the reflection of sun or any illumined object happens on water, it actually does not touch the water. That's how the reflection happens. Right? It is just the reflection appears for our eyes. So reflection is not touching the water, which means what? Even the reflected sun has not become dirty because it's fallen in the ditch, or not become auspicious and noble because it's fallen in the Ganges. There is no difference between there is no difference in the sun or in the reflected sun. See the example. What kind of example is given? This is not clear. Let me give another example. Kanchana ghati mritkumbhayoho va ambare. Or in the space, ambare, in the space, which is kanchana ghati. Kanchana means suvarna, gold. So in the golden pot, suppose there is a space. Of course, in golden pot is there will be space in the golden pot. Mrit kumbha, and there is another mud pot, which also has space. Now just because the space is in golden pot, will it become golden space? And because it is in mud pot, it will become mud space. You may say like that, but space is space. Space doesn't change because it is in the mud pot or in the golden pot. Space remains space. Isn't it? In the same way, Pratyak Vastuni, in that inner reality, that inner truth, inner self, Nistaranga Sahaja Ananda Avabodha Ambudhau. In that inner self, which is like Ambudhi. Ambudhi means ocean. Ambu means water. Ambudhi means lot of water. That is ocean. In that ocean, which is Nistaranga, which is without any waves. It's a huge ocean, depth of the ocean. There are no waves. Waves are only there towards the shore because the ocean is opposed by the land. Therefore, the waves are there. Otherwise, in the ocean, there are no waves. You go deeper into it, because of wind, some things may happen, but the ocean there is nothing. Go deeper in the ocean, there are no waves again. So, in that self, which is like ocean without waves, sahaja ananda avabodha. And this is not the ocean of water, but this is the ocean of consciousness, avabodha. This is the ocean of bliss, ananda, which is sahaja, natural. But in that self, which is of the nature of existence, consciousness, bliss, without any waves of thoughts, modifications, nothing is there. In that consciousness, I am Vipraha, this is a Brahmana, I am Shwapachaha, this is a Chandala. Iti Mahan Vibheda Brahmaha Kaha. What is this great delusion that he is a Brahmana but he is a Chandala? In that same consciousness, where is this difference coming? There was a great poet, he was Rahat Indori. Recently passed away, a couple of years back. Rahat Indori, have you heard? He used to write in Urdu most of the time. He used to say one very interesting thing. He used to say that sometimes when you understand a poem and you understand what a great poem it is, you should always congratulate. But when you don't understand the poem, you should congratulate more, because understand that the poet has said something brilliant that you have not understood. This verse is like that. If you have understood, you will say, what kind, super, what, wow. But if you have not understood, you should congratulate more, because something unbelievable is said. That is the point. Lord Shiva here, as Chandala, is trying to explain the entire philosophy of Vedanta in one verse. So, it's going to be difficult to understand. It's not going to be easy. To make it easy, Bodha Vedanta is there. Come to that class. Morning science is going to be like this. Now, many points he has said here. Some points we will see today, some points we will see in the next section. What is he trying to say? He is trying to explain, elaborate his previous verse. What did he say in the previous verse? Vijavara duri kartum vanchasi. You are trying to make two things separate. Right? Kim bruhi gaccha gaccheti. And therefore you are telling me go away, go away. Now you need to explain to me annamayad annamayam atava chaitanyameva chaitanyam. Should the annamaya is body, that which is made up of food. Should the body which is made up of food go away from another body which is made up of also food, made up of the same elements, 5 great elements, same. Should the body go away from the body? Why? Because it doesn't make sense. Everything is made up of same. Or should Chaitanya go away from Chaitanya? That was his point in the previous verse. Now that he is trying to clarify in this verse by saying that Chaitanya cannot go away from anywhere. Why? Because there is absolutely no difference in Chaitanya. The sun remaining the same, it doesn't matter whether it gets reflected into a pious water of Gangaji or a dirty water of a ditch in a slum. It doesn't matter. Sun remains sun. Space remains space, whether it is the space in a mud pot or in a golden pot. The quality of space does not change. Space is space. In the same way, consciousness is same. Whether that consciousness is available in the body which is called as Vipra, Brahmana, or in the body which is called as Chandala, Swapacha, Shudra. Consciousness is not different. Right? So please tell me, Oyam Vibhedatra. What is this great delusion that he is a Brahmana, he is a Swapacha, he is a Shudra? What is this delusion? Now this verse actually triggers Shankaracharya to speak next 5 verses. And in that next 5 verses he will say that you are right, there is absolutely no difference. And therefore, I say as my conviction, any person who has this knowledge is my Guru. Whether that person is Vipra, Dvija, Chandala or anybody else. Don't think that Shankaracharya was deluded and now he got knowledge. That is all story. Okay? He was talking on a different level. And now that the conversation is raised to a philosophical level, he is going to answer in the philosophical level. Okay? Some more points are there in this verse. We will see tomorrow, then enter into the first verse. All those who have studied Vedanta, please reflect more on this verse and see if there is something about this verse which matches with some other theories that you have studied of Vedanta. Those who have not studied Vedanta much, please focus mainly on the word meaning first. The word meaning should be clear. See, there are levels of understanding. No? When you are totally new to a subject, go for the first level of understanding. That is, word and what does it mean. That should be clear to me. Then, what is the philosophical point? And then, if there are some intricacies, etc., in those, that we will see step by step.